Hello everyone and welcome back. I am, as always, Inquisitor Ara, and this is how to roleplay in World of Warcraft, and this week we are going to be taking a look at the Paladin class. Please note that these are just the generally accepted guidelines to socially acceptable and lore-friendly roleplay in World of Warcraft. There is a niche for every type and style of roleplay out there, and what I am telling you here are the generally accepted guidelines that will not get you ridiculed, laughed at, picked on, ignored, or shunned. Long considered the physical embodiments of the virtues of the light, the Paladin stands as the shining beacon in a world constantly beset by darkness. Blessed by the light, these holy warriors are often found on the front lines, casting back those who would bring harm to others. Paladins are known to uphold all that is good in the world, fighting against all that is evil, but that is too simple a view. There is far more to a Paladin than a holy warrior. And one of the first things that we need to discuss when dealing with Paladins is that a lot of what determines how you became a Paladin depends on what race you are. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, as there is a whole video series dedicated to race-class combinations, so we will just leave this relatively untouched for now. What we will get into is what a Paladin is and what a Paladin isn't. Now, being a Paladin isn't simply a matter of picking up a weapon and learning how to fight. It is a process of indoctrination, and indoctrination into a certain set of beliefs can lead to a number of different personal outcomes and systems of both belief and personal creed. Now, all Paladins do inherently fight evil, but it is the definition of what's evil that divides the Paladin class. This ranges from the lawful, awful Paladin who strives to do right and is altruistic to a fault, to the overzealous Paladins who serve the Scarlet Crusade. Both practice the light, and the light grants them power because of their individual beliefs, even though the Scarlet Crusaders appear to be evil to outsiders. It is the conviction behind their beliefs that keeps the light on their side, because that personal conviction is ultimately for good reasons. Remember, the light serves all who believe they fight evil. The light in itself does not get to decide what is good and what is evil. That being said, the Paladin isn't just about the light and the faith. While that is a huge part of what makes a Paladin, you have to remember that they were born or created to serve a military purpose and are well versed in tactics and war. Many Paladins are military leaders in their own right, and they lead troops, including other Paladins as well as warriors. Organizations such as the Knights of the Silver Hand, the Argent Dawn, and the Argent Crusade, which is of course a combination of the first two organizations, exist as military companies that serve to bolster their respective factions' armies. As such, they would have a lot in common with military types, and balancing the tenets of war against the tenets of the light can provide you with a lot of role-playing flavor. That all being said, Paladins are rarely simple and very hard to pin down roleplay-wise. You have a lot to consider when you're interacting with people outside of the church and outside of the light. How do you view people who do not believe in the light, such as the Night Elves or the Tauren for the most part? Do you look on them as souls that need to be saved? Do you feel sorry for them, or are you disgusted by their choice? Maybe you find this lack of belief in the light fascinating. Maybe they find as much fulfillment in a loon or the Earth Mother as you do in the light. Keeping that in mind, is your Paladin a kind individual, a highly spiritual leader and advisor with a waiting ear? Or are you the faceless incarnation of justice, sent to mete out punishment to the wicked? Now, these are just the opposite sides of the Paladin spectrum. Your Paladin could literally fall anywhere in between these, or even well outside of these typical role-playing tropes. But what makes Paladin role-playing interesting is how they deal with their relationship to the light, on top of all of the usual struggles a person encounters in the world. Paladins have a very broad spectrum available to them through roleplay, but to give you some examples, let's take a look at some notable Paladins, and there have been quite a few, obviously. And the first that I feel that we need to mention is, of course, Tyrion Fordring. I know some of you were expecting somebody else, but I put him there first. Tyrion Fordring is the current wielder of the Ashbringer and the Grand Master of the Argent Crusade. And of course, there would be no Argent Crusade, nor Argent Dawn, nor Knights of the Silver Hand if it wasn't for Uther the Lightbringer, who was the first human paladin and the former leader of the Knights of the Silver Hand. Next is Arthas Menethil. Once the Lich King, now deceased, he did start out his career as both Crown Prince of Lordaeron and Knight of the Silver Hand. Next we have Vindicator Murad, who sacrificed his life to save Exarch Irel and Shatrath City from the wrath of the Iron Horde. Then there is Lady Liadrin, the Blood Knight Matriarch, and Aponi Brightmane, the first Tauren Sunwalker. And finally, Lord Toralion, leader of the Sons of Lothar, who led the Alliance expedition to Draenor and has been missing for quite some time. Defenders of the righteous, harbingers of the light, and the bane of all that is evil in the world, the Paladin stands as a shining beacon of hope in an age where shadows creep from every corner. Their steadfastness and courage help to guide the faithful through the darkness as they forge ahead, wielding the light to crush all evil that stands in their way. Well, that is going to be it from me for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, if you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to comment below and don't forget to subscribe. I also have a Patreon. The link is in the description box below, as well as up in my channel header art. So if you want to help me improve my video quality, make sure you stop on by and donate. Remember, your donations go directly to things to improve the quality of my videos and may lead to more videos per week. Anyways, guys, thank you again so much for watching. Have a great week, have a great weekend, and I will see you again in Azeroth.